Chapter 2742. A dragon's roar was heard, shaking the 9 heavens. The entire ice mountain shook and a vast dragon's aura filled the air. It was terrifying. Lu Ming and the others retracted their auras and did not dare to move. A heavenly god was too powerful. They were not someone they could fight against. They could kill them all in one move. Dong, dong, dong. The ice dragon stood up and stomped on the ground, causing the ground to shake. A few of the ice dragons stared at the chilling heart grass. They twisted their bodies and came near the chilling heart grass. However, their eyes flashed with doubt. They were puzzled as to why the chilling heart grass would appear here. Although the ice dragons were puzzled, they could not resist the temptation of the chilling heart grass. They opened their mouths and swallowed the chilling heart grass. They seemed to be enjoying themselves. It's done. Bing Qing was overjoyed. She stared at the ice dragons. After the ice dragons finished eating the chilling heart grass, they turned around and walked back. However, as they walked, their bodies began to stagger as if they were drunk. In the end, with a few thuds, they fell to the ground one after another and fell asleep. It's done. The ice dragons are unconscious. Someone shouted in surprise. Everyone, let's go. These ice dragons will not wake up in half a month. Bing Qing smiled and rushed towards the ice mountain. The others followed her. As expected, when they got close to the ice dragons, they did not react at all. They were still sleeping. Swoosh. Suddenly, a sword radiance shot out. A young man stabbed his sword at the neck of one of the ice dragons. However, when the combat sword hit the ice dragon's neck, there was a crisp sound of collision. Sparks flew, but the ice dragon was unharmed. What are you doing? Do you want to die? If you wake up the ice dragon, we will all die. Bing Qing shouted. She looked terrible as she stared at one of the young men. That young man was a genius from the Mystic Academy. His eyes shone with greed. Obviously, he wanted to kill the ice dragon and obtain its corpse. This ice dragon was a heavenly god realm existence. Everything on its body was a treasure. If he brought it out, it would be priceless. Unfortunately, the heavenly god realm ice dragon's defense was too strong. Even if it lay there motionless, he would not be able to break through its defense. After being scolded by Bing Qing, the young man's expression changed drastically. Don't act rashly. A heavenly god realm ice dragon is not something we can kill. Lu Shankai also spoke. Actually, many people had the same thought earlier. They wanted to kill the ice dragon. However, none of them dared to do so now. The ice dragon's defense was too strong. If they couldn't kill it in one move, they could only injure it and awaken it. Otherwise, they would all die. If anyone dares to do such a foolish thing again, don't blame me for being merciless. Bing Qing warned and continued to move forward. Soon, they passed by a few ice dragons and arrived at the foot of the ice mountain. When they arrived here, they felt that the world was filled with a powerful pressure that pressed down on them. Go! Bing Qing took the lead and rushed towards the top of the ice mountain. Roar! Roar! They had only rushed out a few thousand meters when there were roars coming from the top of the ice mountain. The rocks that looked like ice stones suddenly wriggled and turned into desolate beasts. It turned out that many of the ice stones were actually desolate beasts. When they came up, they immediately alerted the desolate beasts. These desolate beasts included ice-armored lizards, ice-armored pythons, ice-armored giant bulls, and others. All of them were covered in ice armor, and they roared as they charged towards Lu Ming and the rest. Kill! Bing Qing took the lead and charged forward. Sword radiance burst out, and in an instant, 3 desolate beasts were split in half. Swoosh! Lu Ming stabbed with his spear and pierced through an ice-armored giant bull, killing it on the spot. These desolate beasts weren't too strong. Most of them were peak empty god realm. Some of them were level 1 and 2 true god realm, so it wasn't too difficult to kill them. They gathered together and formed a cone shape. They quickly pushed forward and rushed towards the top of the ice mountain. However, as they continued to go up, the desolate beasts that appeared became stronger and harder to kill. Gradually, there were no more empty god realm desolate beasts. Those that appeared were mostly true god realm desolate beasts. Their speed became slower and slower. Bing Qing was still brave and invincible. Every move she made could kill a desolate beast. In addition, Lu Shankai was also very strong. With a wave of his hand, rays of black light burst out and killed a level 3 true god desolate beast. Lu Ming shook his long spear and pulled it out, splitting a third-level true god ice-armored giant python into two halves, with the three experts leading the way and the rest cooperating. Although their speed had slowed down, they were still moving forward slowly and nearing the top of the mountain. If they continued, it wouldn't take long for them to reach the top of the mountain. However, at this moment, there was a sudden change. In a place further away, there were roars of beasts. Then, the mountain rumbled and large groups of desolate beasts charged towards them. There were desolate beasts from both left and right. In front of these desolate beasts, there were a few figures flashing rapidly. Those few figures weren't desolate beasts. They were from the Ice Soul race. Yes, they looked very similar to the Ice Soul race. They had snow-white hair and snow-white eyes. The only difference was that their skin was slightly darker. Dark Ice Race. Damn it. It's the Dark Ice Race. How did they enter the Ancestors' Land? Immediately, a few supreme talents from the Ice Soul race shouted angrily, "Dark Ice Race? What's the Dark Ice Race?" Someone asked. The supreme talents from the Ice Soul race looked gloomy. Let me explain. A long time ago, the Dark Ice Race was a member of the Ice Soul race. However, the Dark Ice Race was betrayed by the Ice Soul race and started a civil war. That war was extremely tragic. In the end, the Ice Soul race's ancestors' land was destroyed and our strength was greatly reduced. In the end, the Dark Ice Race was defeated and the remaining people went into hiding. All these years, they have been secretly opposing the Ice Soul race. Bing Qing explained quickly and simply. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He understood many things. He had heard that the Ice Soul race used to be very powerful. However, after a great war, their ancestors' land was destroyed and their strength was greatly reduced. As a result, they were no match for the Flaming race. A long time ago, the Ice Soul race was more powerful than the Flaming race. They were the real #1 force in the Qin Tian Star Zone. It turned out that there was a civil war. In the past, the Dark Ice race couldn't enter the Ancestors' Land without the Ancestors' token. This time, the Dark Ice race was able to enter the Ancestors' Land and lay in ambush. Bing Qing said through gritted teeth. Everyone understood what Bing Qing meant. Obviously, the Dark Ice race had entered the Ancestors' Land earlier than them. However, they probably had no way to deal with the Ice Dragon, so they hid in the dark and waited for them to kill the Ice Dragon. After that, they would appear and lure other desolate beasts to attack Lu Ming and the others. It's impossible for you to get the Ice Jade Chilling Heart. Go to hell. A young man from the Dark Ice race laughed coldly and rushed toward them. Chapter 2743. The young men from the Dark Ice tribe looked ferocious. When they got close to Lu Ming's group, the wild beasts that had been attacking Lu Ming's group also attacked them. Together with the wild beasts chasing them, the young men from the Dark Ice tribe were drowned by the wild beasts in an instant and died in the crowd. However, the wild beasts they had attracted also noticed Lu Ming's group and joined the attack. Lu Ming's group was heavily surrounded. Apparently, the young men from the Dark Ice tribe were like men of sacrifice. They had sacrificed themselves to attract a large number of wild beasts to trap them. "Look!" shouted someone. He looked in one direction and saw many silhouettes dashing towards the top of the mountain. They were all from the Dark Ice clan. They wanted to reach the top of the mountain first. Apparently, their target was Bing Yu Chilling Heart. "Damn it!" Bing Qing shouted anxiously. "You guys block them. I'll go first," Bing Qing said. Then, he unleashed his full strength and slashed out a terrifying sword light. Dozens of wild beasts were killed in succession. Bing Qing rushed forward quickly. He wanted to stop the Dark Ice tribe alone. Bing Yu Chilling Heart was very important. It was related to the rise of the Ice Soul tribe. He could not let it fall into the hands of the Dark Ice tribe. Bing Qing's fighting strength was amazing. Soon, he opened a path and got out of the encirclement. At the same time, a figure from the Dark Ice tribe suddenly changed direction and rushed toward Bing Qing. When Bing Qing finally got out of the encirclement of the wild beasts, The young man from the Dark Ice Tribe had arrived. "Your opponent is me," the young man from the Dark Ice Tribe said coldly. He slashed his saber at Bing Qing. The saber light was cold and powerful. Bing Qing blocked it with his sword. The two of them fought fiercely. The young man from the Dark Ice Tribe was obviously a peerless genius. He was evenly matched with Bing Qing. The other members of the Dark Ice Tribe were quickly approaching the top of the mountain. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. Then, he used the ice chain. Whoosh! A cold ice chain flew out and lashed at those wild beasts. Lu Ming was surprised to see that when he waved his cold ice chain, those wild beasts actually revealed a look of fear. They did not dare to resist and kept retreating. How could it be? Lu Ming was delighted. It was probably because of the cold liquid. How could Lu Ming let go of this opportunity? His figure flashed and he dashed out. With a few flashes, he dashed out of the encirclement of the desolate beasts. Bing Qing and Lu Ming dashed out consecutively. The pressure on the rest increased tremendously. They had to give up on attacking and turn to defense. Only then did they stabilize their footing. Lu Ming moved and dashed toward the peak of the mountain. Seeing Lu Ming rush out, Bing Qing was overjoyed. She shouted, "Lu Ming, you must stop them from getting the Ice Jade Chilling Heart. If you can get the Ice Jade Chilling Heart, you will be a friend of the Ice Soul clan." Lu Ming did not reply. He kept rushing toward the top of the mountain. His main goal was the Cold Moon Stone. Stopping the Dark Ice Tribe was secondary. Seeing Lu Ming rushing toward them, the members of the Dark Ice Tribe looked gloomy. "Kill him!" The genius of the Dark Ice Tribe who was fighting with Bing Qing shouted. Immediately, two prodigies from the Dark Ice Clan dashed toward Lu Ming at an alarming speed. Very soon, they were near Lu Ming. Their cold sabers slashed toward Lu Ming. Whoosh! Whoosh! Lu Ming waved his long spear and attacked. Clang! Clang! There were two consecutive booming sounds, and Lu Ming felt a gush of powerful energy surging toward him. His figure retreated slightly. These two are so strong. Lu Ming was surprised. Even if they were not as strong as Lu Shankai, they were not far behind. Kill! The two geniuses of the Dark Ice Tribe shouted and continued to attack Lu Ming violently. Ice Chain! Lu Ming did not want to fight with them. He used the ice chain directly. Clang! Clang! The opponent's saber slashed at the ice chains, but it was blocked by the ice chains. In the next moment, the two youths of the Dark Ice Tribe were shocked. They felt a strong chill coming from the ice chain. They had cultivated the extreme cold divine power and were naturally not afraid of the cold. However, this chill made them shudder. Furthermore, a layer of ice immediately condensed on their blades and rapidly spread towards their bodies. How is this possible? The two of them were shocked. They kept using their divine power to resist the chill. However, Lu Ming controlled the ice chain with all his strength and whipped it toward the two of them. The two of them tried their best to resist. Although they managed to block a few moves, their bodies were gradually frozen and their movements became slower. Kill! Lu Ming waved his long spear and stabbed it twice. The two geniuses of the Dark Ice Tribe were frozen. Even if they wanted to dodge, it was too late. They were pierced through by Lu Ming's long spear and died on the spot. Lu Ming rushed toward the top of the mountain. Great! Bing Qing was overjoyed. The young man from the Dark Ice Tribe who was fighting with Bing Qing looked terrible. The two young men from the Dark Ice Tribe who had been killed by Lu Ming were two of the top geniuses of the Dark Ice Tribe. It was a great loss for them to be killed by Lu Ming. It's too late. He can't stop them even if he goes now. The young man from the Dark Ice Tribe shouted coldly. The geniuses of the Dark Ice Tribe were about to reach the top of the mountain. Lu Ming sped up, but was still a step behind. When he neared the top of the mountain, he saw a huge ice platform on the top of the mountain. The ice platform was glowing and a fist-sized rock was suspended in the air above the ice platform. The stone was snow-white and looked like a beautiful jade. Ice Jade Chilling Heart. Lu Ming's heart jumped. It was very likely to be the Ice Jade Chilling Heart. Ha ha ha, I found it. It belongs to my tribe. The Dark Ice Tribe will definitely rise. We'll destroy the Ice Spirit Tribe and become the overlord of the Qin Tian Star area. The young man from the Dark Ice Tribe was overjoyed. Immediately, several young men from the Dark Ice Tribe rushed toward the Ice Jade Chilling Heart. However, they had to step onto the ice platform first if they wanted to get the ice jade chilling heart. The ice platform was huge and round, with a diameter of 1,000 meters. Something amazing happened. The moment the young men from the Dark Ice tribe stepped onto the ice platform, their bodies froze. Then, a layer of ice crystals appeared on their bodies and covered them. The young men of the Dark Ice tribe were frozen like statues, motionless. Their faces were still full of shock. The rest of the heavenly talents from the Dark Ice tribe gasped and stopped in their tracks. Whoosh! Lu Ming flashed a few times and appeared on the other side of the ice platform. He also stopped and did not rush up. The ice platform contained a terrifying chill. As soon as they stepped onto it, they were frozen. The young men from the Dark Ice tribe were experts. Two of them were even at the LV4 True God realm, which was comparable to an high. However, they were frozen within a few seconds. Chapter 2744. The ice platform contained a terrifying chill. Even an expert who controlled cold divine power could not withstand it. This made the Dark Ice tribe and Lu Ming stop in their tracks. "Why aren't you going up? Take the ice jade frozen heart?" shouted the young genius of the Dark Ice clan who was fighting against Bing Qing. They couldn't see what was happening on the ice platform from where they were standing. "There's a terrifying ice platform here. An Kong and An Ling have been frozen. They're probably dead." A young man from the Dark Ice tribe replied. "What?" The young man from the Dark Ice tribe who was fighting with Bing Qing was called An Lu. His expression changed when he heard that. After exchanging a few blows with Bing Qing, he left Bing Qing and rushed to the top of the mountain. Bing Qing followed him to the top of the mountain. When they arrived at the top of the mountain, they saw the ice platform and the scene on it. Their expressions changed as well. "You want the ice jade frozen heart? Looks like you can't get it." Bing Qing sneered. "We can't get it. You can't get it either." An Lu replied with a cold face. "Really?" Bing Qing sneered. His body flashed, and he rushed to the ice platform. Lu Ming was surprised, but he did not stop him. Since Bing Qing had seen the two frozen geniuses and dared to rush up, he must have some confidence. Whoosh! Bing Qing stood on the ice platform. However, as soon as he stepped on the ice platform, a layer of ice crystals appeared on his body, trying to freeze him. "Holy ice armor!" shouted Bing Qing. His body started to shine, and an armor appeared. It was a snow-white armor that looked like it was made of ice. As soon as it appeared, it covered Bing Qing and blocked the terrifying chill on the ice platform. "Holy ice armor! The treasure of the Ice Soul tribe! Holy ice armor!" An Lu shouted angrily. His face was gloomy. Then, he moved and rushed to the ice platform. In the next moment, he also landed on the ice platform. The moment he landed on the ice platform, his body was also covered by a layer of ice crystals. "Ice battle armor!" An undercurrent growled, and a battle suit appeared on his body, enveloping him and blocking the cold outside. The Dark Ice tribe and the Ice Soul tribe had come prepared. They had brought precious treasures that were controlled by An Lu and Bing Qing. The two of them blocked the chill outside and looked at each other with cold eyes. Then, they stepped out and walked towards the center of the ice platform. Dong, dong, dong. It was as if the two of them were carrying a mountain on their backs. Their footsteps were heavy as they walked forward step by step. Every step they took caused the ice platform to rumble violently. The members of the Dark Ice race and Lu Ming watched with serious expressions. Strangely enough, the desolate beasts on the mountain peak did not rush up to attack them. It was very peaceful. As for Lu Shankai and company, they were gathered together to defend against the desolate beasts. There were not many casualties. On the ice platform, Bing Qing and An Lu were moving slower and slower. A layer of ice had appeared on their battle suits and armors. Obviously, the closer they were to the center of the ice platform, the colder it became. Even their battle armors could not withstand the cold. However, the two of them did not give up. They continued to move forward. However, it took them a few minutes to take another step. In the end, they could barely move. The layer of ice on their battle suits and armors became thicker and thicker. Crack, crack. Suddenly, two cracks appeared on Bing Qing's armor and An Lu's armor at the same time. Their battle armors were damaged by the cold. Their expressions changed drastically. Although they were unwilling, they did not dare to move forward. They had a feeling that once they moved forward, their battle suits and armors would be broken and they would die on the ice platform. The two of them stepped back and quickly retreated out of the ice platform. Then, they used their divine power to shake off the layer of ice on their bodies. Only then did they let out a long breath. It was as if they had gone through a great battle on the ice platform. The two of them had used up a lot of their divine power. They immediately took out a pile of divine crystals and began to recover. After a while, the two of them recovered a little. I didn't expect the ice platform to be so terrifying. We can't get the heart of the ice jade. Bing Qing sighed. She was unwilling to give up. On the other side, Enlu and the other members of the Dark Ice Tribe were also unwilling to give up. The heart of the ice jade was so close, but they could not get it. They were also unwilling to give up. It seems that the Ice Spirit Tribe's efforts to get the heart of the ice jade are in vain. Enlu looked at Bing Qing and sneered. Even without the heart of the ice jade, the Ice Spirit Tribe is still one of the strongest tribes in the Qin Tian Starfield. However, the Dark Ice Tribe can only hide in the dark and struggle at death's door. Bing Qing sneered. This caused Enlu's expression to turn extremely ugly. Unfortunately, this was the truth. Although the Dark Ice Tribe had some talents in recent years, their overall strength was far inferior to the Ice Spirit Tribe. They could only hide in the dark and wait for an opportunity to strike. Ninth young lord, maybe I can give it a try. Lu Ming suddenly sent a message to Bing Qing. You want to give it a try? Bing Qing was shocked. However, she immediately thought of Lu Ming's strange chain. Lu Ming's ice chain was shockingly cold. Even she felt terrified. It was extremely strange. Maybe I can let him give it a try. A thought flashed through Bing Qing's mind. She then said, the ice jade heart is extremely cold. It is impossible to store it in a storage ring. It will freeze the storage ring and destroy it. It requires a special tool to store it. After that, a jade box appeared in Bing Qing's hand. The jade box was red and emitted a blazing aura. Mysterious runes were engraved on the jade box. Take this jade box. If you can get the heart of the ice jade, you can store it in this jade box. It can isolate the cold aura of the heart of the ice jade. Bing Qing said. Okay. Lu Ming nodded. He could not help but think that the heart of the ice jade could freeze a storage ring. It was similar to the cold liquid. After taking the jade box, Lu Ming stepped forward and stepped onto the ice platform. What does that kid want to do? Does he want to get onto the ice platform? Ridiculous. Even Enlu and the Ice Spirit Tribe couldn't get onto the platform. He wants to get onto the platform? He must be dreaming. I guess the Ice Spirit Tribe can't get the heart of the ice jade and is unwilling to give up. It's a pity that this kid will lose his life. Some people from the Dark Ice Tribe saw Lu Ming walking towards the ice platform and sneered. They did not believe that Lu Ming could get the heart of the ice jade. Enlu's eyes flashed, but he did not stop them. He also thought that Lu Ming could not get the heart of the ice jade. He had brought the Dark Ice Tribe's treasure, the ice armor, to protect himself. However, it could not withstand the cold aura of the ice platform. How could Lu Ming withstand it? Chapter 2745. As soon as Lu Ming landed on the ice platform, he felt a bone-piercing coldness enveloping his body. The coldness was so strong that Lu Ming was shocked. Lu Ming immediately circulated his absolute frost divine power to resist the coldness. However, a layer of ice crystals still appeared on his body and slowly covered his entire body. This lad has cultivated the absolute frost divine power. However, even the absolute frost divine power can't resist the coldness of the ice platform. Enlu said coldly. The divine power that he had cultivated was not any weaker than the absolute frost divine power. However, it still could not resist the coldness of the ice platform. Ice chain. Lu Ming made a mental command and ice chains appeared one after another. Lu Ming did not use the ice chain that had refined the cold liquid. Instead, he used the other 8 ice chains. He wanted to see if the other 8 ice chains could resist the coldness of the ice platform. The 8 ice chains danced in the air and gathered together to encircle Lu Ming. It's a secret skill of the ice attribute. And Lu and the other sky prides from the Dark Ice tribe were surprised. Trying to resist the coldness of the ice platform with a secret skill of the ice attribute? Dream on. And Lu said disdainfully. Sure enough, as soon as Undercurrent's voice fell, the 8 ice chains that enveloped Lu Ming were immediately frozen and covered in a thick layer of ice. Then, cracking sounds could be heard. Following that, the 8 ice chains shattered together, turning into fragments and disappearing. Ho ho, I knew it. It's impossible to resist the coldness of the ice platform. You're overestimating yourself. And Lu sneered. Lu Ming ignored Lu's voice. He had expected that the 8 ice chains would not be able to resist the coldness of the ice platform. In the end, he could only rely on the ice chain that had refined the cold liquid. With a thought, the chain flew out and circled around Lu Ming, trapping him within. It's the same trick again. This lad is still unwilling to give up. Ridiculous. He has already proven that it's useless. Why is he still using it? What an idiot. A few young men from the Dark Ice tribe mocked Lu Ming. Lu Ming was from the Ice Spirit tribe. Mocking Lu Ming was the same as mocking the Ice Spirit tribe. They felt good about it. However, in the next moment, their voices stopped abruptly. Because this time, it was completely different from before. This time, there was no layer of ice on the chains around Lu Ming. The chains were wriggling slowly, showing no signs of being frozen. What's going on? Some young men from the Dark Ice clan were dumbfounded. Dong, dong, dong. Following that, Lu Ming stepped out. His footsteps were extremely fast, and he took more than 10 steps consecutively. As expected, this ice chain is able to withstand the cold from the outside world. Joy appeared in Lu Ming's eyes. The ice shackles enveloped him, completely blocking the cold from the outside world. He himself couldn't feel the slightest bit of coldness. There was not the slightest bit of coldness. Dong, dong. Lu Ming continued to step forward. Step by step, he didn't stop at all. Soon, he had taken a few hundred steps. The distance he had covered was even further than Bing Qing and Undercurrent. What's going on? How is that possible? How is this possible? Why isn't that kid afraid of the chill on the ice platform? It's just a secret technique. How can it block the chill on the ice platform? The people from the Dark Ice clan opened their eyes wide in disbelief. Undercurrent, in particular, was fuming with anger. Just a moment ago, he was still mocking Lu Ming, saying that Lu Ming was overestimating himself. But now, Lu Ming had walked further than him. This was a slap to his face. Bing Qing's eyes lit up. It was beyond her expectation that Lu Ming could walk so far. She had a glimmer of hope that Lu Ming could get the Ice Jade Frozen Heart. Lu Ming didn't stop. He continued to walk step by step. After a while, Lu Ming finally arrived at the center of the ice platform. The Ice Jade Frozen Heart was right above his head. Swoosh! Lu Ming waved his hand. The ice shackles flew out and wrapped around the Ice Jade Frozen Heart. As soon as the Ice Jade Frozen Heart was wrapped around, Lu Ming felt a terrifying chill coming from the ice shackles. Fortunately, the ice shackles had refined the ball of cold liquid. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to block the chill. But now, it was blocked by Lu Ming. Come in. Lu Ming took out the Crimson Jade box and controlled the ice shackles. With a pull, the Ice Jade Frozen Heart was slowly pulled towards the jade box. Darn it! How is this possible? The people from the Dark Ice tribe roared. Their eyes were red with envy. Ha ha ha! Bing Qing laughed loudly. He didn't expect that inviting Lu Ming and the others would be of such great use. The reason why the Ice Spirit tribe had invited the elites of the Qin Heaven 13 sects was so that the elites of the Qin Heaven 13 sects could help them clear desolate beasts or deal with other dangers. As for obtaining the Ice Jade Frozen Heart, they still had to rely on the elites of the Ice Spirit tribe. He never expected that Lu Ming would be able to obtain the Ice Jade Frozen Heart when the Ice Spirit tribe couldn't. Clang! In the end, the Ice Jade Chilling Heart successfully entered the Scarlet Jade Box. Lu Ming immediately closed the Jade Box, and the runic light on the Jade Box formed an array, sealing the Ice Jade Chilling Heart inside. The coldness on the Ice Jade Chilling Heart immediately disappeared, and the coldness on the ice platform was greatly reduced. Rumble. At this moment, the entire ice platform started to shake violently. Boom. In the end, the entire ice platform exploded with a loud bang, sending rubble flying everywhere. That is, at the moment when the ice platform exploded, Lu Ming saw rocks the size of a human head flying out from under the ice platform. These rocks were circular and emitted faint moonlight. They were like bright moons. Cold moon rocks. Lu Ming was overjoyed. These rocks were exactly the same as the legendary cold moon rocks. There were cold moon rocks under the ice platform. Lu Ming scanned the area and saw 6 of them. Swoosh. In a flash, Lu Ming pounced towards the cold moon rocks. Kill that brat and get the ice jade frozen heart. Lu bellowed and dashed toward Lu Ming. At the same time, the rest of the people from the Dark Ice tribe also dashed towards Lu Ming. Don't even think about it. Bing Qing had her eyes on Enlu and the others. As soon as Enlu dashed out, Bing Qing dashed towards Enlu. A chilling sword radiance slashed towards Enlu. The two of them engaged in an intense battle. As for Lu Ming, in a flash, he grabbed a cold moon rock. The cold moon rock was different from the ice jade frozen heart. It was warm to the touch, and there was no bone-chilling coldness. After grabbing the cold moon rock, Lu Ming kept it in his storage ring and grabbed the other cold moon rocks. In an instant, 3 cold moon rocks were in Lu Ming's storage ring. At this moment, the people from the Dark Ice tribe arrived. Brat, hand over the ice jade frozen heart. Kill. More than 10 people from the Dark Ice tribe attacked Lu Ming at the same time like a storm. Chapter 2746. The Dark Ice tribe's experts attacked Lu Ming at the same time. Their attacks were powerful. Get lost. Lu Ming shouted. The ice chain swept out to block the attacks, while he pounced on the next cold moon stone. Clang, clang, clang. The attacks of the prodigies from the Dark Ice tribe all landed on the ice chain. They were all blocked by the ice chain. Moreover, the ice chain's terrible coldness spread toward them. The Dark Ice tribe's geniuses' faces changed and they retreated quickly. A layer of frost appeared on their bodies, making them shiver. There were even a few people with the weakest cultivation who were directly frozen into popsicles. Then, with a bang, they exploded and died on the spot. The Dark Ice tribe's young men were shocked and did not dare to move forward. Lu Ming did not care about them. He was focused on the cold moon stones. Xiao Qin's figure flashed as he collected the last 3 cold moon stones. Lu Ming collected all 6 cold moon stones. Lu Ming was overjoyed. This trip was worth it. Not only did he get the 6 cold moon stones, but he also refined the cold liquid. Lu Ming had a feeling that the cold liquid was not to be underestimated. It was definitely more valuable than the 6 cold moon stones. Ninth young master, we have the ice jade chilling heart. Let's go. Lu Ming shouted to Bing Qing. You want to leave? Hand over the ice jade chilling heart, or none of you will leave. And Lu roared. His face was ferocious, and he attacked Bing Qing fiercely. Bing Qing could not get away. Do you think you can keep us here? I'm afraid you're not good enough. Lu Ming sneered. He manipulated the ice chain and flew toward the undercurrent, sweeping toward it. Get lost. And Lu shouted and slashed at the ice chain with his battle saber. Clang, clang. Although the ice chains were deflected by undercurrent after a few consecutive collisions, the terrifying chill on them still spread towards undercurrent, causing his body to stiffen slightly. His strength was on par with Bing Qing's to begin with. As his body stiffened, Bing Qing took advantage of the opportunity. Her sword flashed and left a sword wound on his body. Dark Current's expression changed drastically as he retreated. However, Lu Ming controlled the ice shackles to sweep towards Dark Current. Lu Ming's current cultivation base was still a little weak after all. He couldn't exert the power of the cold ice chains. He also couldn't fully exert the power of the cold liquid. If his cultivation base could reach the true God realm, defeating Enlu wouldn't be a problem. But even now, the chill of the ice shackles still had a great effect on undercurrent, causing his body to stiffen and his movements to become slower and slower. If it was just Lu Ming alone, Enlu would have been able to violently attack and defeat Lu Ming. But now, he had another opponent. Bing Qing and Lu Ming cooperated and seized the opportunity to attack. Enlu couldn't resist and was hit several times. Although he managed to avoid being hit, he was still heavily injured. He vomited blood and retreated. Damn it, damn it. It's all because of this brat. And Lu was filled with hatred as he glared at Lu Ming. He then unwillingly roared, "Retreat." After saying that, and Lu turned around and fled. The other members of the Dark Ice tribe also followed in Lu, hastily fleeing in another direction. Bing Qing's eyes twinkled, but she didn't chase after them. The most important thing was the ice jade chilling heart. Furthermore, within Lu's strength, if he wanted to escape, even if he chased after him, he wouldn't be able to stop him. Ninth young master, the ice jade chilling heart is for you. Lu Ming took out the jade box and handed it to Bing Qing. Although he was also very interested in the ice jade chilling heart, he knew that this kind of treasure wasn't something he could get his hands on right now. If he didn't return the ice jade chilling heart, he wouldn't be able to leave this place. The ice soul race wouldn't let him off. It wasn't worth offending a large race like the ice soul race for a treasure. And if he returned the ice jade chilling heart, he would also gain the friendship of the ice soul race. That was even more useful to Lu Ming. Lu Ming, thank you, thank you. From now on, you're a friend of my ice soul race. Bing Qing was overjoyed. She carefully put away the jade box with a smile on her face. Then let's go back, said Lu Ming. All right, let's go. Bing Qing nodded and rushed down the mountain with Lu Ming. They charged toward Lu Shankai and the others. With Lu Ming and Bing Qing's help, their strength had greatly increased. They quickly slaughtered their way down the mountain and rushed back in the direction they had come from. Roar! They hadn't run far when an earth-shattering roar came from behind them. It was a dragon's roar. From afar, they saw an ice dragon soaring into the sky, roaring continuously. It was filled with terrifying killing intent. The ice dragon is awake? How is that possible? Someone exclaimed, his face pale. Didn't they say that the ice dragon would sleep for at least half a month? It's the Dark Ice Race. Those lunatics, run! Bing Qing shouted. It wasn't hard to guess that it was the Dark Ice Race's doing. The Dark Ice Race must have attacked the ice dragon and awakened it. They didn't want Bing Qing and the others to take the ice jade chilling heart away. Quick, quick, quick! Everyone flew with all their might, pushing their speed to the limit. Like streaks of lightning, they swept across the sky. Behind them, the ice dragon kept roaring and circling in the sky. Then, it looked in the direction of Lu Ming and the others. It twisted its body and chased after Lu Ming and the others. Oh no! We're doomed. Many people's faces changed drastically. The ice dragon was in the heavenly god realm. It could kill them with one slap. The ice dragon was poisoned not long ago and has just woken up. It's definitely not at its peak, Bing Qing said. However, the others' faces didn't turn for the better. The ice dragon was in the heavenly god realm. Even if it wasn't at its peak, it wasn't something that they could fight against. However, the ice dragon was indeed not at its peak. It wasn't as fast as they had imagined. Although it was closing the distance between them, it didn't catch up with them immediately. The two parties, one chasing and the other fleeing, quickly flew towards their original destination. However, although the ice dragon didn't catch up with them immediately, the distance between them was slowly closing. A few days later, the distance between them was less than 10,000 miles. At this rate, it wouldn't be long before the ice dragon caught up with them. Ninth young lord, you guys go first. I'll delay the ice dragon. At this moment, a young man from the ice spirit race shouted, Count me in. I'll go too. A few young men from the ice spirit race said, their eyes filled with determination. All of you. Bing Qing's eyes flashed with pain. If these young men from the ice spirit race were to delay the ice dragon, they would definitely die. Ninth young lord, Bing Yu's heart is more important. The rise of the ice spirit race is more important. Sacrificing our lives is nothing. A young man from the ice spirit race shouted, all right, all of you go. From now on, your family is my family. Bing Qing said, thank you, ninth young lord. Chapter 2747. The 11 of them spread out and distanced themselves from each other. This way, they would not be killed by the ice dragon in one move. Spreading out would buy them more time. Let's go. Bing Qing roared as he increased his speed. Not long after, they heard the ice dragon's roar from behind. However, After this delay, the distance between them had increased to more than 100,000 miles when the ice dragon chased after them again. Just like that, another 7 or 8 days passed. They were getting closer and closer to the exit they had come from. However, the ice dragon was relentless in his pursuit, and the distance between them was getting smaller. If this continued, they would probably be caught before they even reached the exit. Ninth young master, let's delay the ice dragon. Let me go. Another youth from the ice spirit race volunteered. Lu Ming sighed inwardly. No wonder the ice spirit race could become one of the strongest races in the Qin Tian starfield. They were too united. This kind of selfless behavior would never happen in the Qin Tian 13 sects. No need. I have a plan. Now that we have the ice jade chilling heart, we can use the ice phoenixes to delay the ice dragon. Bing Qing waved his hand as his eyes glowed with wisdom. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. That was indeed the case. They were not far from where the ice phoenixes lived. If the ice dragon did not chase after them, they would definitely choose to go around the ice phoenixes. But now, Bing Qing planned to rush to the ice phoenix's residence. They did not change their direction and rushed directly to the ice phoenix's residence. Soon, they arrived at the ice phoenix's residence. Ga Ga Ga! Cries rang out as huge figures rushed out from the ice mountains. They were the ice phoenixes. There were 9 of them. The 9 ice phoenixes stared coldly at Lu Ming and the others. They flapped their wings and flew toward Lu Ming and the others. Come. Bing Qing flew at the front and took out the red jade box. When the ice phoenixes approached, he suddenly opened the jade box and revealed the ice jade chilling heart. A wave of cold air immediately filled the air. Ga. As soon as the 9 ice phoenixes saw the ice jade chilling heart, they began to cry incessantly, and fear appeared on their faces as they forcibly stopped in their tracks. Go. Bing Qing hurriedly closed the jade box. Everyone rushed over. The 9 ice phoenixes didn't dare to block them. They could only watch as Lu Ming and the others rushed past. After passing the ice phoenixes, they continued to fly. Soon, they heard the roars of ice dragons and ice phoenixes behind them, as well as the rumbling of collisions. The ice phoenix and the ice dragon were indeed in conflict. At this point, they were very close to the exit. Not long after, they returned to the place where they first came in. Bing Qing immediately took out the statue and began to form seals. The statue floated in the air, emitting a dazzling radiance. After a while, a vortex appeared in the void. The exit had been opened. Roar. At that moment, a dragon's roar sounded from afar. The ice dragon had caught up to them again. Let's go, let's go. Bing Qing roared. Go, go, go. Lu Shankai and the others from the Mystic Academy were the first to rush into the vortex, followed by the others. Behind them, the dragon roars grew louder and louder. They could even see the huge figure of the ice dragon appear in their field of vision. However, it was fortunate that most of their people had already left. Lu Ming's figure flashed and rushed out of the vortex. Bing Qing quickly kept the statue and rushed out of the vortex. As Bing Qing rushed out of the vortex quickly disappeared. Roar. In the end, they could still hear a loud dragon's roar. Then, the light screen where the vortex had disappeared vibrated slightly. Huff, huff, huff. Everyone heaved a sigh of relief, and their hearts relaxed a little. They had escaped. Although they had lost some people, they had obtained the ice jade chilling heart. The people from the Ice Soul tribe were all smiles. Of course, there were some exceptions. They were the people from the Mystic Academy, especially Hu Ye and Lu Shankai. During this trip, Lu Shankai had been brutally beaten by Lu Ming. He had even been forced to kneel in front of everyone by Lu Ming. Such humiliation filled Lu Shankai's heart with murderous intent whenever he thought about it. He swore to himself that he would find a chance to take revenge. Everyone, take a break and adjust your condition. I'm afraid we still have one more obstacle to pass. Bing Qing instructed. The people from the Ice Soul tribe were fine, but the others' faces changed when they heard this. They had already made it out. What obstacle was there to pass? Ninth young lord, what do you mean? Lu Shankai asked with a sullen face. The mission this time was more dangerous than he had imagined. Moreover, he had been greatly humiliated. He was already in a bad mood. Now that he heard that there would be another obstacle, His face turned even uglier. "Everyone, you know about the Flaming Tribe, right?" Bing Qing asked. "Of course. Everyone in the Qin Tian Star Zone knows about the Flaming Tribe." Lu Shankai said. "You should also know that the Flaming Tribe and my Ice Soul Tribe have been enemies for generations. My Ice Soul Tribe wants the Ice Jade Chilling Heart, but the Flaming Tribe doesn't want it. Therefore, every time my Ice Soul Tribe sends people into the Ancestral Land, the Flaming Tribe will send people to stop us. This time, before we entered, we didn't encounter the Scarlet Flame Tribe's obstruction. It's very likely that they were waiting for us to come out so that they could wait for us to exhaust ourselves. If I'm not wrong, the Scarlet Flame Tribe's people are very likely lying in ambush on the way out," Bing Qing said. Hearing Bing Qing's words, many people's faces turned gloomy. Next, they would have to rush out of the encirclement of the Flaming Tribe to be truly out of danger. The only good news was that only those under 10,000 years old could enter this path. If the Flaming Tribe wanted to enter, only those under 10,000 years old could enter. Those of the same generation as them wouldn't have a high cultivation. It shouldn't be too difficult for them to rush out of the encirclement. Immediately, everyone found a place to sit down cross-legged. They took out divine gems to refine and adjust to their best condition. Lu Ming also took out some divine gems to recover. In fact, he had the quantifying formula, which stored a large amount of divine power. He was always in peak condition. Of course, he couldn't expose the quantifying formula. Therefore, he had to put on an act. A day later, everyone had recovered to their best condition. Their divine power was full. "Let's go." Bing Qing led the way out. The others followed. They raised their attention to the maximum, constantly paying attention to their surroundings. Soon, they were halfway out without encountering any accidents. However, they didn't dare to be careless. "Be careful." All of a sudden, Bing Qing roared. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Then, silhouettes flashed from the huge rocks around them. Attacks were launched one after another at them. Luckily, they were constantly paying attention to their surroundings. With Bing Qing's reminder, everyone used all kinds of defensive measures to defend their surroundings, blocking the attacks from all directions. Chapter 2748. After Lu Ming and the group blocked all the attacks from the surroundings, figures flashed and a large group of figures appeared, surrounding them. In front of them was a group of red-skinned youths, each of them emitting a blazing aura. The Flaming Flame Race. Many people's faces turned serious. It was indeed the Flaming Flame Race, and their numbers were shocking. There were actually 70 to 80 of them. One had to know that only people under 10,000 years old could enter this place. The number of people from the Flaming Flame Race had reached 70 to 80, which showed how strong they were. Behind Lu Ming and the others were not from the Flaming Flame Race, but there were still more than 70 of them. These people were from different races. Invincible Kinzo and the Immeasurable Sacred Land. A youth from the Mystic Academy exclaimed. The others' hearts sank. They all recognized that these youths were from different races. Like them, they were from the other 7 sects of the Qin Tian 13 sects. Moreover, the Invincible Kinzo and the Immeasurable Sacred Land's prodigies had also come. Everyone's hearts sank. The difference in strength between the two sides was too great. They had fought a few battles in the Ice Soul Race's ancestral land and had lost some battle power. Originally, they had less than 100 people, but after losing some, they were only left with 60 or so people. The other side had about 150 people, which was more than twice their number. Bing Qing, hand over all your interspatial rings, and I'll let you go. A burly prodigy from the Flaming Flame Race sneered. His body was like a burning piece of metal, emitting wisps of divine fire. Yinsen, come and take it yourself if you can, Bing Qing said coldly, and the cold aura on her body grew stronger. The Ice Soul Race had spent so many years to obtain the Ice Jade Heart, so how could she hand it over? If you don't hand it over, did you really get the Ice Jade Heart? Today, none of you will leave. Attack. The tall and sturdy Flamekin youth, Yin Xin, waved his hand and gave the order. Kill! Kill! The prodigies of the Flaming Tribe, Invincible Kinzo, and other sects roared. Their auras soared as they charged towards Lu Ming and the others. Gather together and charge forward. As long as we charge out of this path, we'll be saved. Bing Qing roared. She took the lead and charged toward the Flame tribe. Streaks of sword chi shot out from Bing Qing's hands. They were extremely cold, and wherever they passed, layers of frost appeared in the air. Child's play, transform for me. Yinsen shouted and rushed towards Bing Qing. His whole body was covered in blazing flames, and the temperature of the space was rising rapidly. Boom, boom. His fists were unceasingly punching out. His fists were like magma as they bombarded Bing Qing. The air was filled with sizzling sounds and violent explosions. Rings of blazing energy and ice-cold energy spread out in all directions. The two of them fought fiercely. Yinsen's battle strength was also extremely terrifying. He was evenly matched with Bing Qing. At the same time, Lu Ming and the others also suffered a terrifying attack. Several blood-curdling screams rang out. The difference in strength between the two sides was too great. As soon as they exchanged blows, Lu Ming and the others suffered heavy injuries. A few of them were killed. Lu Ming and the others' formation was also blocked. Clang! The sound of a sword resonated through the sky. A black-robed youth with a cold expression and terrifying battle strength slashed out with his sword. A sky pride of the Ice Soul tribe was killed. This was a sky pride of the invincible Kinzo. His strength was slightly stronger than Lu Shankai's. On the other side, a white-robed youth was very elegant. However, his battle strength was also terrifying. He also killed a sky pride of the Ice Soul tribe. This person was from the immeasurable sacred ground. The most shocking thing was that there were a few prodigies from the Flaming Flame tribe who were as powerful as Lu Shankai. Some of them were even more powerful than Lu Shankai. Under the leadership of these people, Lu Ming and the rest retreated in defeat, and people were constantly killed. Boom! An expert from the Flame tribe punched out and turned a disciple from the Kongxian school into ashes. There were a total of 10 sky prides from the Kongxian school. None of them had died before. Now, this was the first one to die. We can't go on like this. We'll leave in batches. Come with me. Lu Ming roared. Lu Ming could no longer care about the Ice Soul tribe. He led the people from the Kongxian school and madly charged to the side. Lu Ming rushed to the front. He exploded with all his strength and stabbed out with his long spear. 2 young men from the Flame tribe were killed by Lu Ming. The other young men from the Flame tribe coughed up blood and retreated. Kid, you're courting death. A young expert from the Flame tribe fixed his eyes on Lu Ming and attacked Lu Ming. He was wearing a pair of red gloves. He threw out a few punches. The scorching fist force was aimed at Lu Ming. Before the fist force arrived, everyone felt as if their bodies were about to burn. Lu Ming's long spear swept out and collided with the young man. However, the result was that Lu Ming was forced to retreat a few steps. What a strong battle strength! Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. The young man from the Flame tribe was no weaker than Lu Shankai. In a head-on collision, Lu Ming was at a disadvantage. Kid, how dare you kill someone from the Flame tribe? Die! The young man from the Flame tribe said ferociously and continued to attack Lu Ming. Lu Ming did his best to fight the young man, and Hai and the others formed a circle to block the attacks from all directions. However, the situation was still precarious. Boom, boom, boom. Lu Ming and the young man from the Flame tribe exchanged more than a dozen blows. In the end, Lu Ming was forced to retreat. He was completely suppressed. Turn into ashes, brat. The young man from the Flame tribe shouted. Is that so? At this moment, Lu Ming said coldly. Then, an ice chain flew out from his body and wrapped around the young man. It's just a chain. Melt it. The young man from the Flame tribe said coldly. He did not care about the ice chain at all. He threw out a punch, and a scorching flame blasted towards the ice chain. He wanted to melt the ice chain. However, the ice shackles didn't seem to be affected at all. The young man from the Flame tribe was shocked. He did not expect that his fist force would have no effect on the ice chain. While he was stunned, the ice chain had already wrapped around him and quickly tightened. Melt! The young man from the Flame tribe shouted. His body was like a furnace. The temperature was shockingly high. He wanted to melt the ice chain. However, the ice chain was not affected at all. It quickly tightened. The terrifying coldness extinguished the young man's flame. Then, a layer of ice covered the young man from the Flame tribe. Impossible. No, no. The young man from the Flame tribe shouted in horror. He did not expect that Lu Ming could control such terrifying ice. It could even freeze his flame. Chapter 2749. The young man from the Flaming tribe was terrified. He could feel that his blood was starting to freeze. His body was stiff and he couldn't move. Save me! The young man from the Flaming tribe screamed in fear. Kill! Lu Ming stabbed out with his spear, and a spear light pierced through the young man, killing him instantly. A young man who wasn't any weaker than Lu Shankai had died just like that. Brat, you're courting death. Damn it! Immediately, angry roars could be heard. Many prodigies from the Flame tribe were glaring at Lu Ming furiously. That young man from the Flaming tribe had an extraordinary status in the Flaming tribe, and he was extremely talented. But now, he had died at the hands of Lu Ming. This made the people from the Flaming tribe want to kill him. Let's go! Lu Ming shouted as he waved his ice chains towards the young men from the Flaming tribe who were attacking and Hai and the others. The young men from the Flaming tribe were shocked and quickly dodged. And Hai and the others also escaped and joined up with Lu Ming. They rushed forward together. Kill! That brat must die. The others can surround him, but don't kill him. Kill that brat first. Yin Sen, who was fighting with Bing Qing, shouted. Shua! Shua! One by one, the young men from the Flaming tribe rushed towards Lu Ming. Some of them were extremely fast. Boom! In front of Lu Ming, there was a young man from the Flaming tribe who was 3 meters tall. His fist force was like a mountain as it blasted towards Lu Ming. So strong. Lu Ming was shocked and quickly blocked with his spear. Dang! The young man's fist force hit the long spear. The long spear vibrated violently, and Lu Ming felt an overwhelming pressure coming towards him. Lu Ming retreated quickly. He felt that his arm was about to split open, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Strong. This young man from the Flaming tribe was shockingly strong. Lu Ming felt that his battle strength wasn't any weaker than Bing Qing's. The Scarlet Flame race had a shocking number of geniuses. As expected of the strongest race in the Qin Tian star field. Without a doubt, they were also the strongest force. Brat, I'm going to grind your bones to dust. Kill them all. The 3-meter-tall Flamekin youth roared and punched at Lu Ming with both fists. At the same time, the other members of the Flame tribe had also arrived. Together, they charged towards Lu Ming, and Hai, and the others. Bang! Bang! In the blink of an eye, 2 young men from Kongxian School were blown up in the air and turned into ashes in the scorching heat. We're finished. We're finished. A young man from the Kongxian School yelled in despair. Facing such a situation, they would definitely die today. At this time, Lu Ming was also facing an extremely strong pressure. The 3-meter-tall Flamekin youth wasn't the only expert from the Flaming tribe. There were a few more people behind him. Although they weren't as strong as the former, they were also very terrifying. They attacked Lu Ming together, wanting to kill Lu Ming. Lu Ming could only control the ice chain to wrap around them. However, they knew the power of the ice chain and naturally wouldn't let Lu Ming have his way. As soon as the ice chain was released, they retreated rapidly, avoiding the ice chain. Only the 3-meter-tall Flamekin youth was fearless. His aura was wild, and his body was covered in blazing divine flames. He punched continuously at the ice chain with both fists. Boom! Boom! The blazing fist collided with the ice chain, but it didn't extinguish. Instead, it sent the ice chain flying back. The opponent was too strong, and Lu Ming's cultivation was too low. After all, the power of the ice chain was limited. It couldn't cross a large distance to freeze the opponent. The 3-meter-tall Flamekin youth had the strength to block it. I'll block this strange chain. Let them kill him. The 3-meter-tall Flamekin youth roared and launched an attack. He focused on bombarding the ice chain, while the other experts of the Flamekin tribe charged at Lu Ming. All of a sudden, Lu Ming's situation became precarious. 2 other people from the Kongxian school had died. At this moment, there were only 5 people left in the Kongxian school, including Lu Ming. The other 4 people, including An Hai and the long-faced youth, were all seriously injured. Their faces were filled with despair. At this moment, the people of the Ice Soul clan and several other sects had suffered heavy losses. People kept dying in the battle. The number of people on their side was constantly decreasing. What should I do? What should I do? Lu Ming's mind raced as he tried to think of a way to escape. However, the difference in strength between the two sides was too great. Even if Lu Ming wanted to escape alone, it would be difficult. Boy, we can only fight now. At this moment, the voice of the quantifying formula sounded in Lu Ming's mind. Fight? How? Lu Ming hurriedly asked. Do you still remember when I absorbed the Nether Dragon Blood Jade in the Nether Dragon Secret Realm? The quantifying formula said, Nether Dragon Blood Jade? Have you already refined the energy of the Nether Dragon Blood Jade? Lu Ming hurriedly asked. That's right. After all these years, I've already refined all the energy of the Nether Dragon Blood Jade. I can give it to you now. This energy is very strong. Even if you cultivate 5 divine fires, it's enough for you to reach the true God realm in a short time. That's right. It's very dangerous to break through during a battle. If you're not careful, you might go mad and explode. The quantifying formula said, I definitely have to break through. Please give me the energy. Lu Ming hurriedly said. It wasn't like he hadn't broken through during a battle. He had plenty of experience. All right, then get ready. Let's begin. As soon as the quantifying formula finished speaking, Lu Ming felt that the quantifying word in his mind was shining. Then, a huge amount of energy surged out of the quantifying formula and into Lu Ming's body. This energy was very pure and could be converted into divine power in an instant. Refine, refine. Lu Ming crazily circulated the universe 10,000 Dao technique and started to refine it. This energy was quickly converted into Lu Ming's divine power. The divine fire in Lu Ming's dantian grew stronger. In almost an instant, Lu Ming's cultivation had reached the peak level 8 empty God realm. Then, with a loud boom, his body seemed to explode and his aura suddenly skyrocketed. Level 9 empty God realm. In just a breath's time, Lu Ming's cultivation had risen from level 8 empty God realm to level 9 empty God realm. Breakthrough? How is that possible? The others were shocked. They had never thought that Lu Ming would have a breakthrough in his cultivation in such a situation. Even if you have a breakthrough, you will still die. The 3-meter-tall young man from the Flaming Flame tribe roared and charged towards Lu Ming. The other supreme talents from the Flaming Flame tribe also charged towards Lu Ming. There were 9 of them charging towards Lu Ming. Kill. Lu Ming's fighting spirit soared, and he continuously swung his long spear to clash with his opponents. However, even though Lu Ming's cultivation had reached level 9 empty God realm, he was still no match for so many supreme talents from the Flaming Flame tribe. He was still at a disadvantage. Only by breaking through to the true God realm would he be able to fight his way out. Chapter 2750. Go, 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 continue to go. Lu Ming roared in his heart as he continued to refine the energy. His cultivation base was nearing the peak of the empty God realm. However, it wasn't easy for him to break through to the true God realm. The Kongxian school's outer disciples had a rule that if an outer disciple could break through to the true God realm within 1,000,000 years, they could become an inner disciple. However, there were still many people who couldn't break through to the true God realm within 1,000,000 years. From this, one could see how difficult it was to break through to the true God realm. Even with the energy from the quantifying character formula, it wasn't realistic for Lu Ming to break through to the true God realm immediately. Come on, come on. I'll borrow your strength to break through to the true God realm. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with madness. His battle intent seemed to be on fire. Spear radiance and ice chains clashed with the 9 top young prodigies from the Flaming Flame tribe. Although Lu Ming was at a disadvantage and was constantly injured and coughing out blood, he was able to hold on for a while. On the other side, the young prodigies from the Mystic Academy were fighting against the invincible Kinzo under Lu Shankai's lead. Lu Shankai was fighting against the black-shirt young man. Brother Xian, why do you have to be so ruthless? Lu Shankai sent a message to the black-shirt young man. They were both prodigies from the three overlord sects, and they knew each other. We've taken on different missions. Naturally, we have to do our part. The black-shirt young man replied coldly. How about this, Brother Xian? I'll give up on this mission. As long as you show mercy, I can still help you kill that brat. Lu Shankai sent a message to the black-shirt young man and then looked at Lu Ming with murderous eyes. Lu Ming had broken through at such a crucial moment. This made Lu Shankai even more wary of Lu Ming. He couldn't wait to kill Lu Ming as Lu Ming's speed of growth shocked him. You seem to want to kill that brat, the black-clothed young man asked with great interest. That's right. Let me tell you. That lad is from Kongxian School, and his combat strength is terrifying. You've seen it for yourself. He's only an empty god, but he already has such combat strength. If he grows up, I'm afraid that even the three overlords would not be his match. I'm not trying to scare you, Lu Shankai said. The invincible Kinzo youth's eyes flashed. Lu Ming was at the empty god realm. How could he not see that? To be honest, he was extremely shocked. He had never seen a nihility god with such combat strength. The Kongxian School was already the leader of the top 10 sections. With the addition of such a prodigy, it was indeed a huge threat to the three overlords. What's your plan? The black-clothed youth's eyes flashed as he said, Let's pretend to fight. As we fight, we'll shift the battlefield to that kid's side. That kid's attention has been on the Scarlet Flame race and you guys. He definitely won't expect me to attack at this time. So, as long as I attack, I'll definitely be able to kill that kid, Lu Shankai said coldly. Lu Shankai, you're despicable. The black-clothed youth sneered. Lu Shankai's face turned ugly. However, he hated Lu Ming to the core. Even if he was ridiculed, he wanted to kill Lu Ming. All right, I promise you, the black-clothed youth said. He then sent a message to the invincible Kinzo. At the same time, Lu Shankai also instructed the people from the Mystic Academy to pretend to fight and slowly move closer to Lu Ming. Soon, they were near Lu Ming. At that moment, Lu Ming's cultivation had already reached the peak of rank 9 empty god realm, and he was trying to break through to the true god realm. However, it was not easy to break through to the true god realm. Lu Ming tried to break through a few times, but he did not succeed. Just a little bit more, just a little bit more. Lu Ming still felt that he was lacking a little bit, and it was difficult for him to break through the bottleneck. If others knew that he was trying to break through to the true god realm, and that he was trying to break through to the true god realm at the same time, they would laugh their heads off. When others tried to break through to the true god realm, they would first have to cultivate to the peak of rank 9 empty god realm. Then, they would have to prepare some treasures to break through to the true god realm. Moreover, the success rate was not high. No one could break through to the true god realm while fighting. Boom, boom. Lu Ming exchanged a few blows with the flaming flame tribe. His body shook violently, and he could not stop retreating. Blood kept flowing out of his mouth. Now is the time. Lu Shankai's eyes lit up. The direction that Lu Ming was retreating was exactly where he was. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Lu Shankai did not hesitate and struck immediately. Boom. The runes on his body shone brightly. A huge black seal appeared in his hands, and he smashed it towards Lu Ming. Be careful, the quantifying character formula reminded him. Lu Ming was shocked. To be honest, he did not expect Lu Shankai to strike at him at this moment. His attention was all on the flaming flame tribe, the invincible Kinzo, and the immeasurable sacred ground. At this critical moment, he thought that Lu Shankai would try to save his own life. He did not expect Lu Shankai to suddenly strike at him. It was too late for him to dodge. Lu Ming could only activate the 9-fold golden armor to defend himself. Boom. Lu Shankai's huge black seal landed heavily on Lu Ming's body, and there was a loud boom. The 9-fold golden armor on Lu Ming's body shook violently and then exploded. Lu Ming's body was like a cannonball. He flew towards a huge meteorite and smashed it into pieces. Even the flaming flame tribe members were shocked. Wasn't Lu Shankai on Lu Ming's side? Why did he suddenly attack Lu Ming? But after a moment of shock, 2 experts from the flaming flame tribe rushed towards the meteorite that Lu Ming had smashed. They wanted to kill Lu Ming once and for all. However, right at that moment, an astonishing aura erupted from the meteorite. This aura was extremely terrifying. It formed a powerful pressure that made everyone feel as if a mountain was pressing down on them. Buzz. A spear light as large as a mountain swept out towards the two experts from the Flaming Flame tribe. Bang! Bang! The two experts from the Flaming Flame tribe did not even have time to react before they were blasted apart by the spear light. How is this possible? The others were shocked. Although the two experts from the Flaming Flame tribe were not at Lu Shankai's level, the difference was not big. Yet, they were killed instantly. Boom. There was a loud boom from the meteorite and a figure rushed out. It was Lu Ming. At this moment, divine power was boiling on Lu Ming's body. It was like a flame that was burning fiercely. A powerful aura was constantly being emitted. A true god. This was the aura of a true god. He broke through. This kid is broken through again. Someone shouted in disbelief. Oh my god. What is going on? Everyone could not believe their eyes. Didn't Lu Ming just break through? How did he break through again? One breakthrough was still acceptable. Lu Ming's cultivation level was already at its peak. It was normal for him to have a breakthrough. However, it was impossible for him to have consecutive breakthroughs from the Void God Realm to the True God Realm. Chapter 2751. Lu Shankai's eyes widened. He thought he was dreaming. He had attacked Lu Ming, but not only did he fail to kill Lu Ming, but Lu Ming didn't die. Instead, he broke through. Lu Shankai felt his head spinning. Lu Shankai. Lu Ming's cold gaze swept toward Lu Shankai. His cold, murderous intent was not concealed, and Lu Shankai shuddered. Lu Shankai. Speaking of which, I have to thank you. If it wasn't for your attack, I wouldn't have been able to break through. Hee. Lu Ming sneered. He wasn't lying. The situation just now was indeed as he had said. Lu Shankai's attack had instead helped Lu Ming, allowing Lu Ming's cultivation to break through to the true immortal realm. Hearing Lu Ming's words, Lu Shankai almost spat out a mouthful of blood due to anger. Not only did his attack fail to kill Lu Ming, but it had instead helped Lu Ming break through. He wanted to slap himself a few times. In order to repay you, I will personally send you on your way. Lu Ming said coldly. So what if you've broken through? Kill. The young man from the Flaming Flame tribe, who was more than 3 meters tall, roared and charged toward Lu Ming. He unleashed his full strength and threw out 2 fists. 2 blazing fists crushed towards Lu Ming. Facing this attack, Lu Ming's expression was indifferent. He directly swept out his spear. Boom. The long spear and the fists collided. The fists directly exploded. The spear continued to attack the 3-meter-tall flame youth. The youth's expression changed drastically. He tried his best to resist, but the result was that his body was forced back. His arms were directly blown to pieces. Your strength. The 3-meter-tall flame youth's eyes widened. His face was filled with disbelief. In one move, Lu Ming had only casually waved his spear, but it had severely injured him. Lu Ming just broke through to the true God realm. How did his strength increase so much? A person's battle prowess was not only determined by the strength of divine power, but also divine skills and secret techniques. Although Lu Ming's cultivation base had broken through, his divine skills and the like had not broken through. It was impossible for his battle strength to soar so much. Little did he know that Lu Ming had 5 divine fires in his body and possessed 5 types of divine powers. Once his cultivation level had a breakthrough, the 5 divine fires and 5 types of divine powers had a breakthrough as well. Naturally, his divine power had increased tremendously. His battle prowess had also increased by several times. Kill. Lu Ming roared. Wielding his spear, he charged towards the Flame tribe's experts. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. A series of terrifying spear glows burst out. They were a lot stronger than before. The young men from the Flaming Flame race, including the one who was more than 3 meters tall, tried their best to resist. However, the spear radiance pierced through them. Other than the Flaming Tribe youth who was over 3 meters tall, the other 6 Flaming Tribe experts were all dead. All of them were assassinated by Lu Ming. The Flaming Tribe youth who was over 3 meters tall coughed up blood and retreated. His injuries were even more serious. Seeing this, Lu Shankai was almost scared to death. Among the flaming flame tribe's sky prides who were killed just now, there were some who were not weaker than him. However, they were all killed by Lu Ming with ease. Go quickly. Lu Shankai roared in his heart and turned around to leave. Go. Where do you think you're going? Lu Ming would not let Lu Shankai escape. He would not kill the others, but Lu Shankai must die. Lu Ming used the Garuda technique and his body flashed as he chased after Lu Shankai. With Lu Ming's current cultivation base and the Garuda technique, his speed was too fast. In a few flashes, he had caught up with Lu Shankai. Lu Ming, if you dare to kill me, the Mystic Academy will not let you go, Lu Shankai roared hysterically. Idiot, Lu Ming said coldly as he swept out his spear. A huge spear light swept towards Lu Shankai. Lu Shankai roared as his body was covered with runes. He went all out as he burned his divine power to form a huge black seal and threw it towards Lu Ming. This was the strongest attack he had ever made. He only wanted to save his life. Boom! The huge seal and Lu Ming's spear light collided. The huge seal crumbled and the spear light swept across Lu Shankai's body. Lu Shankai screamed as his body was sent flying and hit a huge meteorite. Many of his bones were broken, and he was on the verge of death. When Lu Ming was at the 8th level of the Empty God Realm, he was no match for Lu Shankai. However, Lu Ming's current cultivation base had reached the 1st level of the True God Realm. His combat strength had increased tremendously, and he was able to suppress Lu Shankai. I'll send you on your way. He looked at Lu Shankai coldly and thrust out his spear. Don't! Lu Shankai screamed miserably. At this moment, he was filled with regret. He regretted launching a surprise attack on Lu Ming. Not only did he fail to kill Lu Ming, but he also helped Lu Ming achieve a breakthrough in his cultivation level. He even sacrificed his own life. Unfortunately, there was no medicine for regret in this world. Lu Shankai was killed by the long spear. Run! Run! At this moment, the invincible Kinzo youth screamed in fear as he turned around and ran. The others followed. Kill! 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 Lu Ming roared as the divine power in his body exploded. His battle-intent sword. Lu Ming seemed to have turned into a god of war as he held his long spear and killed. Spear light shot out continuously. Puff! Puff! In an instant, 10 members of the Flaming Tribe, 6 members of the Winged Demon Academy, and 6 members of the Invincible Kinzo were killed. The members of the Flaming Tribe who had surrounded Hai and the others were all killed. At this moment, there were only 3 people left in the Kongxian school. Hai and the other 2 had the highest cultivation bases, but they were covered in injuries. The others were all dead. This was also because the experts of the Flaming Tribe weren't particularly strong when they attacked Lu Ming and Hai. Otherwise, none of them would have survived. Hai and the other 2 looked at Lu Ming in shock. Lu Ming continued to kill the members of the Flaming Tribe, the Invincible Kinzo, and the Immeasurable Sacred Ground. Exhilarating, exhilarating. Previously, he had been suppressed. To be honest, he was very sullen. However, at this moment, he had released all of his sullenness. He felt extremely happy. These people were all crushed by him. One by one, they died at the hands of Lu Ming. Retreat, retreat. When the prodigy from the Flaming Flame tribe who was fighting with Bing Qing saw this scene, he knew that things were hopeless. Lu Ming's combat power was too strong. No one present was a match for him. If this continued, they would all die. The members of the Flaming Tribe, the Invincible Kinzo, and the Immeasurable Sacred Ground gathered together and desperately rushed out of the path. However, Lu Ming obviously didn't want to let them go so easily. He chased after them with his spear, leaving behind a trail of corpses. In the end, the Flaming Tribe, the Invincible Kinzo, and the other sects left behind a total of over 100 corpses. The other side had about 150 people, but only 50 people were left. They were running for their lives. At this moment, Lu Ming stopped chasing. Bing Qing and the others caught up from behind. They were also in a miserable situation. Now, the Ice Soul tribe and the other sects only had about 30 people left. The others were all dead. Chapter 2752. This battle was far too tragic. Brother Lu, it's all thanks to you this time. Bing Qing cupped her fists and thanked Lu Ming solemnly. This trip to the Ice Soul clan's ancestral land was all thanks to Lu Ming. If not for Lu Ming, they probably would not have gotten the Ice Jade Heart. If not for Lu Ming, even if they had gotten the Ice Jade Heart, they would have died at the hands of the Flame tribe. Brother Bing, you're welcome. Since I've accepted this mission, I'll do my best. Let's go out. Lu Ming said. Then, everyone rushed out. In the starry sky outside the path, the Ice Soul clan and the Flame tribe experts were still confronting each other. There were dozens of people on each side. They were all top experts from the Ice Soul clan and the Flame tribe. Each of them was a terrifying existence. The atmosphere in the starry sky was extremely oppressive. In my opinion, the Ice Soul clan doesn't need to wait anymore. It's a waste of effort. Your people definitely won't get the Ice Jade Heart. Even if they do, they'll all die at the hands of the Flame tribe's sky prides. An elder from the Flame tribe sneered. It's too early for you to be happy. Don't bite off your tongue and slap your own face later. An expert from the Ice Soul clan replied. Haha, you still don't want to give up? Let's wait and see. The elder from the Flame tribe sneered with a confident expression. Many experts from the Ice Soul clan had ugly expressions. They had seen the number of sky prides from the Flame tribe and the invincible Kinzo who had gone in. There were many of them, and many of them were experts. If Bing Qing and the others encountered them, the outcome would be unpredictable. They were actually very worried. Time passed by slowly. They're out. Suddenly, someone shouted. Their eyesight was very good. They saw that in the tunnel, there was a figure rushing out quickly. It's the Flame tribe. Haha, it's our sky prides. It seems like the Ice Soul clan has been wiped out. Seeing that it was the Flame tribe, the experts from the Flame tribe laughed. They all thought that the Flame tribe had come out after killing the Ice Soul clan. Even the experts of the Ice Soul clan thought the same. Their expressions were extremely ugly. No, something's wrong. Suddenly, a middle-aged man from the Flamewing race cried out in surprise. The others were shocked and couldn't help but look carefully. When they looked carefully, they realized that something was wrong. The Scarlet Flame race, Invincible Kinzo, and other sects had lost a lot of people. Previously, when they entered, there were around 150 people. But now, at a glance, there were only around 50 people. Moreover, their clothes were ragged, and their auras were unstable. Many of them were injured, and their eyes were filled with panic and fear. This was completely the appearance of a defeated army. When the prodigies from the Flaming tribe and the Invincible Kinzo saw the experts from the Flaming tribe outside, they were overjoyed and rushed out of the meteorite area. The Flamewing clan warriors waved their hands and enveloped them with divine power so that they could survive in the starry sky. What's going on? Where are the others? A red-haired old man from the Flaming Flame clan shouted. Dead, they're all dead. A young man from the Flaming Flame clan answered with a sobbing voice. His eyes were still filled with fear. Previously, Lu Ming had displayed his invincible might and slaughtered his way through. He had almost died at the hands of Lu Ming. He was so scared that he almost wet his pants. Dead? How is that possible? What happened inside? Yin Sin, what happened? The old man from the Flaming Flame clan looked at Yin Sun and exuded a terrifying aura. A kid from the Kongxian school called Lu Ming. He killed many of our experts. It's all because of him. Yin San gritted his teeth. Kongxian school? Lu Ming? The others were shocked. With their status, they naturally hadn't heard of Lu Ming. However, they could roughly guess what had happened. A person called Lu Ming from the Kongxian school had killed many prodigies from the Flaming Flame clan, Invincible Kinzo, and other sections. However, the Kongxian school actually had such an expert? One had to know that those who had entered this time were those who had cultivated for less than 10,000 years. The prodigies sent by the major forces were already the strongest among those under 10,000 years old. Who could sweep through all of them? Lu Ming? The expert from the Flaming Flame clan muttered the name as cold-killing intent emanated from his body. The people from the Ice Soul clan were ecstatic. It seemed that the Ice Soul clan had won this time. I didn't expect the Kongxian school to have such a prodigy. We paid a huge price to invite the prodigies from the 6 major sections. We made the right choice. Not bad, not bad. Especially the Kongshian school. Some of the Ice Soul Clan's experts were discussing in low voices. They're here. Suddenly, one of the Ice Soul Clan's experts looked ahead. Lu Ming, Bing Qing, and the others were running toward them from the meteorite path. That's him. That brat is Lu Ming. Yin Xin pointed at Lu Ming with a ferocious look in his eyes. Everyone's gaze fell on Lu Ming. How dare you kill so many of our people? You're courting death. Our Flaming Flame clan wants this person. An elder from the Flaming Flame clan said coldly. He stepped out and headed toward the intersection of the meteorite path. A violent aura erupted, shaking the heavens and the earth. However, it couldn't be felt inside the meteorite path. Of course, Lu Ming also saw the powerful figures from the Flaming tribe. They stopped in their tracks and did not go out. Brat, get out here. Come back with me to the Flaming Flame clan and confess your crimes. The Flaming Flame clan's elder said ferociously, Old man, are you out of your mind? Come and catch me if you can. I'll just stand here and not move. Lu Ming stood on a meteorite and looked at the Flaming Flame clan's elder with disdain. This made the Flaming Flame clan's elder look even colder. This is the ancestral land of our Ice Spirit clan. I'm afraid your Flaming Flame clan doesn't have the ability to catch someone here. An expert from the Ice Spirit clan said coldly. He stepped out and faced the Flaming Flame clan's elder. An extremely cold aura erupted. Rumble. The two people's auras clashed. Cold and heat collided, and a violent explosion erupted in the middle. No one can stop our Flaming Flame clan from taking someone we want. Does your Ice Spirit clan want to start a war with our Flaming Flame clan? The Flaming Flame clan's elder said coldly. Some of the Ice Spirit clan's experts' faces darkened. Starting a war with the Flaming Flame clan was extremely disadvantageous for the Ice Spirit clan. Was it worth it for Lu Ming? They couldn't help but hesitate. Elder, we've already obtained the Ice Jade Heart. This time, it's all thanks to Lu Ming. Lu Ming is a great benefactor to our clan. Bing Qing quickly sent a message to the Ice Spirit clan's elders. What? We've obtained the Ice Jade Heart? The Ice Spirit clan's elders were overjoyed when they heard this. Chapter 2753. Originally, the elders of the Ice Soul clan did not have much confidence in obtaining the Ice Jade Frozen Heart. After all, the Ice Soul clan had sent people into the ancestral land more than once, but they had all returned empty-handed. Each time, they had suffered heavy losses. This time, they had sent people in to try their luck. They had not expected to obtain the Ice Jade Frozen Heart. Moreover, it was all thanks to Lu Ming. Lu Ming had helped the Ice Soul clan obtain the Ice Jade Frozen Heart. This was a great favor. The Ice Soul clan had to protect him. The elders of the Ice Soul clan looked at each other and saw the determination in each other's eyes. This person is a guest invited by the Ice Soul clan. If you touch him, you will be touching the people of the Ice Soul clan. If you want to start a war, then let's start a war. The Ice Soul clan is not afraid of anyone. The Ice Soul clan expert said. His eyes were filled with determination and strong fighting spirit. He did not back down. The elder from the Flame clan narrowed his eyes. He did not understand why the Ice Soul clan was so strong. It seems like the Ice Soul clan wants to die with this kid. Then, I will fulfill your wish. The elder from the Flame clan was very strong. His red hair and long beard fluttered in the wind. His body was as red as a piece of burning iron. Terrifying heat constantly emanated from him. Boom. Suddenly, the elder from the Flame clan attacked. He threw a punch at the Ice Soul clan expert. Ice Divine Sword. The Ice Soul clan expert was not afraid at all. He also attacked. The bone-chilling sword light froze the starry sky. The two sides engaged in a fierce collision. The starry sky was boiling. Terrifying forces whistled through the starry sky. Ice Soul clan, you are courting death. The other experts from the Flame clan shouted angrily. Terrifying auras were released. They were like volcanoes erupting as they attacked the Ice Soul clan expert. Kill. The elders of the Ice Soul clan shouted and attacked the other party. There were dozens of experts from the Flame clan and the Ice Soul clan. At this moment, They were fighting. The starry sky was in chaos. What terrifying strength! Standing on the meteorite road, Lu Ming's heart was beating wildly as he watched the battle outside. The strength of these experts was truly astonishing. They were much, much stronger than them. Any one of these experts could easily shatter his body and bones with a casual move. Heavenly deities. Without a doubt, these experts were all heavenly deities. Furthermore, they weren't ordinary heavenly deities. Even the weakest among them were peak heavenly deities. As for whether or not there were divine king powerhouses inside, Lu Ming's cultivation was too weak and could not tell at all. Regardless of whether it was a peak celestial god or a god king, they were all much stronger than him. The two sides were engaged in a chaotic battle. The more they fought, the more intense it became. However, there was a large formation within the meteorite path. The force outside had no effect on them at all. Kid, this is just a small fight. It's not that strong. Don't be too surprised. I've seen experts who can shatter a star with a single slap. Only then can they be considered experts. However, the real peerless experts have earth-shattering power. TSK. In the sea of consciousness, the voice of the measure formula sounded. Obviously, it was full of disdain for the masters who were fighting outside. Lu Ming's mouth twitched. He was speechless. The measure formula was talking about the peerless experts in the primitive universe. However, that was too far away from him. Lu Ming's current goal was to fight the masters outside. He was looking forward to the day when he could reach such a level. Then, he could travel the universe with his physical body. Bang! The battle became more and more intense. An expert from the Ice Soul race was hit, and his body flew 1,000,000 miles away. He vomited blood while an expert from the Flame race took the opportunity to attack. Ice World. The expert from the Ice Soul race roared. His divine power burned fiercely. A terrifying cold wave burst out from his body. The starry sky within a radius of 1,000,000 miles was frozen, forming a huge ice block. The expert from the Flame race was also frozen. He was shocked and frantically burned his divine power to break the ice. However, his aura was also weakened. He was obviously injured. Puff. On the other side, an expert from the Flame race had his arm cut off by the Ice Soul race's expert. Blood splattered across the starry sky. The bloody battle continued. This is the ancestral land of the Ice Soul race. You Flame race can't be so arrogant. The expert from the Ice Soul race roared. Are you really going to start a war with us for this, kid? The expert from the Flame race roared. Why should we be afraid of a war? The expert from the Ice Soul race replied. Although the Flame race was slightly stronger than the Ice Soul race, it was still unknown who would win if they went all out. You, the expert from the Flame race, was also helpless. They said that they would start a war with the Ice Soul race, but it was just empty talk. They wouldn't really start a war. If they started a war, both sides would suffer. The situation in the Tian starfield was extremely complicated. Although the Flame race was strong and was known as the strongest race in the Tian starfield, the Tian 13 sects occupied nearly half of the Tian starfield's territory. Their strength was even more terrifying. Although there wasn't a single sect that could compare to the Flame tribe in terms of strength. However, if a few sects joined forces, or even 2 overlord sects joined forces, they would be able to match the Flame race. If the Flame race and the Ice Soul race fought and both sides suffered, the Tian 13 sects would definitely act to destroy them and take over their territory. Suddenly, the expression of the Flame race changed as they looked into the distance. There were streaks of rainbow light flying towards them at an extremely fast speed. Not good. More experts from the Ice Soul race are coming. The Flame race's expression changed. Retreat. Let's retreat for today. That kid from the Kongshian school, don't let anyone from the Flame race see him. Kill him if you see him. An elder from the Flame race roared and started to retreat. The experts from the Flame race led the remaining prodigies from the invincible Kinzo and turned into streaks of rainbow light and flew into the distance. The experts from the Ice Soul race didn't chase after them. The people from the Flame race were very strong. There were Divine King experts among them. If they insisted on chasing after them, they would suffer great losses. Whoosh, whoosh. In the distance, streaks of rainbow light flew over and revealed their figures. They were all experts from the Ice Soul race. Those bastards from the Flame race are pretty fast. A burly man from the Ice Soul race curled his lips. Ninth young lord, come out. At this moment, someone looked at Bing Qing, Lu Ming, and the others. Bing Qing and the others nodded and flew out of the meteorite path. The experts from the Ice Soul race immediately enveloped them with their divine power. Ninth young lord, did you really get the Ice Jade Heart? Someone asked. Many experts from the Ice Soul race looked at Bing Qing with fiery eyes. That's right. It's absolutely true. Elders, please take a look. Bing Qing nodded and took out the jade box. When she opened it, the icy jade chilling heart was revealed. A terrifying chill spread out from it. The Ice Jade Heart. It's really the Ice Jade Heart. It's exactly the same as what was recorded in our race's records. The heavens have blessed us. An elder from the Ice Soul race with a face full of wrinkles looked up and sighed. Chapter 2754. The other experts of the Ice Soul clan were also overjoyed. Some of them even had tears in their eyes. The Ice Soul Heart was the most precious treasure of the Ice Soul clan. It was of great significance to the Ice Soul clan. With the Ice Soul Heart, the Ice Soul clan would be able to produce more geniuses. The Ice Soul clan had a chance to surpass the Flaming clan and become the strongest overlord in the Qin galaxy. Bing Qing closed the jade box and put it away. Let's go back to the Ice Soul planet. The clan leader and the supreme elders will be very happy if they know about this. An expert of the Ice Soul clan said. Everyone immediately set off for the Ice Soul planet. After a while, they arrived at the Ice Soul planet. When they returned to the Ice Soul planet, the entire planet was in a celebratory mood. The reason for that was because before they returned, the news regarding the Ice Jade Chilling Heart had already reached them. That night, the Ice Soul clan held a large banquet to celebrate the Ice Soul Heart's return from the ancestral land. Lu Ming and the others were invited to the banquet. The clan leader of the Ice Soul clan attended the banquet in person. A large hall was filled with people. The clan leader of the Ice Soul clan was sitting at the head of the table. Beside him were some other experts of the Ice Soul clan. Lu Ming and the others were sitting at the head of the table. He saw Bing Qing in the crowd. Father, it's all thanks to Brother Lu Ming from the Kongxian school that we were able to get the Ice Soul Heart. If it weren't for Brother Lu, we wouldn't have been able to get it back. Bing Qing said loudly not long after the banquet started. Yes, I roughly know what happened this time. I never imagined that the Kongxian sect would produce such a genius. This is truly worthy of celebration. The clan leader said with a smile. He looked at Lu Ming and said, Lu Ming, you've helped us get the Ice Soul Heart back. You've done us a great favor. If you need anything, just tell us. We'll try our best to satisfy you. Clan leader, can you give me some cold moonstones? Lu Ming cupped his fists and said, although he already had 6 cold moonstones, the more cold moonstones he had, the better it would be for him to cultivate the frost shackles. Cold moonstone? How many pieces do you need? Asked the matriarch of the Ice Soul clan. Give me 8 or 10 yuan and that'll do. Lu Ming chuckled. What? 8 or 10 yuan? The patriarch of the Ice Soul clan and the other experts of the Ice Soul clan looked at each other and smiled helplessly. Lu Ming, to tell you the truth, there aren't many cold moonstones left in the Ice Soul clan. Even if we search the entire clan, I'm afraid we won't be able to find more than 10. The chief of the Ice Soul clan smiled bitterly. So little? Lu Ming was very surprised. Even the entire Ice Soul clan couldn't afford 8 or 10 of them. Now that he had gotten 6 of them, he had made a fortune. How about this? As the patriarch, I'll give you 2 cold moonstones from the Ice Soul clan's treasury. The patriarch of the Ice Soul clan said. Then, he waved his hand and ordered someone to bring the cold moonstones. Thank you, patriarch. Lu Ming thanked the patriarch of the Ice Soul clan. Cold moonstones were very rare. It was good enough that he could get 2 more. Including the 6 from before, he had a total of 8 cold moonstones. The remaining 8 chains of the frost shackles were exactly 1 cold moonstone each. Soon, the patriarch of the Ice Soul clan returned with the cold moonstones. When the patriarch of the Ice Soul clan took out the cold moonstones, 2 moon-like stones appeared. They were exactly the same as the ones Lu Ming had obtained. Lu Ming, these 2 cold moon stones are for you. The patriarch of the Ice Soul clan waved his hand, and the 2 cold moon stones flew to Lu Ming. Lu Ming quickly took them and put them away. Also, take this golden jade token. Then, the patriarch of the Ice Soul clan took out a golden jade token and waved his hand. The golden jade token flew to Lu Ming. Lu Ming took the golden jade token. It was cold to the touch, and a chill spread out. This golden jade medallion represents the highest status of the Icy Soul clan's guest elder. In the future, you can use this golden jade medallion to seek help from the Icy Soul clan wherever you go. The patriarch of the Ice Soul clan said, "Thank you, patriarch." Lu Ming put the golden jade token away happily. This golden jade token could be used to seek help from the Ice Soul clan. Its value was very high. It could be very useful at critical times. Many people looked at him with envy. The banquet ended, and everyone dispersed. Lu Ming and the others stayed on the Ice Soul planet for 3 more days. After 3 days, they bade farewell and returned to the Kongshan school. They took the teleportation formation and headed to the Kongshan school. After a while, they returned to the Kongshan school. After returning to the Kongshan school, they rushed to the mission hall to submit the mission and exchange for the reward. Lu Ming, thank you for saving us this time. On the way, the long-faced young man suddenly stopped and solemnly cupped his fists to Lu Ming to express his gratitude. As the team leader this time, it's my responsibility to keep you alive. You don't have to thank me. Lu Ming said lightly. No, if it weren't for you this time, I would have been dead, let alone completing the mission and exchanging the points. You saved my life, and I, Lu Chong, am a person who knows how to repay kindness. From now on, if you have any orders, no matter if it's water or fire, I won't refuse. Lu Chong bowed again and cupped his fists. This time, he was truly convinced by Lu Ming. When he first met Lu Ming and learned that Lu Ming was their team leader, he was very unconvinced and wanted to challenge Lu Ming to make Lu Ming scram. However, along the way, the talent and combat ability that Lu Ming had displayed were simply miracles. He was deeply impressed by Lu Ming. He planned to follow Lu Ming in the future. Lu Chong, now you know how strong my boss is. If you follow my boss, you'll have benefits in the future. And Hai grinned. I, Zhao Feng, am willing to follow boss Lu Ming in the future. I won't refuse even if I have to climb a mountain of swords or dive into a pot of boiling oil. The other young man was even more direct, directly calling Lu Ming boss. You want to follow me? Lu Ming's heart moved as he asked. Yes. Lu Chong, Zhao Feng, and An Hai hurriedly nodded. You haven't joined any of the other Sacred Sun factions before? Lu Ming asked. No, I don't belong to any faction. Me neither. An Hai and Zhao Feng both shook their heads. I used to be part of the Floating Light faction, but I'm willing to leave the Floating Light faction and follow you, boss. Lu Chong said. After this incident, Lu Chong had a feeling that Lu Ming's talent was far above the other Sacred Sons, and that he might be able to defeat all the other Sacred Sons and Sacred Daughters in the future and dominate the Kongshan school. He obviously wanted to join such a prodigy as soon as possible. Okay, then you can follow me. However, you have to swear on your life origin that you'll sincerely join me. Otherwise, I won't accept you. Lu Ming said. He did indeed need some helpers in the Kongshan school. This way, it would be more convenient for him to do some things. For example, gathering information. Chapter 2755. Okay, I swear. An Hai, Lu Chong, and Zhao Feng all swore on their life origins. Lu Chong, you don't need to leave the Floating Light faction for now. Help me gather information. If there's any news from the Floating Light faction, you can inform me. Lu Ming said. Yes. Lu Chong nodded. Let's go in exchange for our rewards. Lu Ming said. Not long after, they came to the mission hall and submitted their missions. Each of them received 20,000 points. After that, Lu Ming gave them some instructions and left. After the crowd dispersed, Lu Ming immediately went to the Divine Vein Tower as he had something to do. Ever since he broke through to the true God realm, he felt that the portrait of Jingyu in his sea of consciousness had changed. He didn't have time to observe it before. After entering the Divine Vein Tower, Lu Ming sat down cross-legged. With a thought, Jing Yu's portrait flew out from his forehead and floated in the air. Next, Lu Ming circulated his divine power and poured it into Jing Yu's portrait. When Lu Ming poured his divine power into Jing Yu's portrait, it started to shine. Then, Jing Yu's portrait seemed to come alive. It took a step out of the portrait and floated in the air. Senior Jing Yu, Lu Ming was extremely surprised. Jing Yu died long ago. I'm just a remnant imprint. I'll tell you some things, but I'm also going to vanish. The Jing Yu imprint sighed. Senior, what do you want me to do? Lu Ming asked. He had sworn on his life origin in front of White Fang that he would help Jing Yu complete his task. However, he didn't know what it was. Your cultivation was too weak before. Now that you've reached the true God realm, I'll tell you everything. Jing Yu imprint said. At this point, a complicated look appeared in his eyes, as if he was reminiscing. After a while, he began to speak in detail. Do you know about the Taishu dynasty? Jing Yu's remnant imprint asked first. I don't know. Lu Ming shook his head. Oh, then where are you now? What star zone is it called? Jing Yu imprint asked. This place is called the Qin Tian Starfield, Lu Ming answered. So it's in the Qin Tian Starfield, and you just came out of the small world not long ago. No wonder you haven't heard of it. Jing Yu imprint whispered and continued. The chaotic universe is vast and boundless. Small worlds are undoubtedly the smallest. Many experts from small worlds will appear on some life planets when they come to the chaotic universe. When countless planets with life gather together, they form a galaxy. When the many galaxies gather together, they form a star field. The distance between different star fields is very far. Dominating a certain star field is a star field level force. However, above the star field level forces, there are still the universe level forces. The universe level forces usually occupy many star fields and dominate an area. They are extremely powerful and prosperous. The Jing Yu imprint explained, and Lu Ming was secretly shocked. Cosmic realm level forces ruled over a cosmic realm. Above the star field level forces, there was actually a universe level force. One force could occupy so many star fields. How strong was that force? The Taishu dynasty is a universe level force. It occupies many star fields. If I remember correctly, one of the most remote star fields is the Qin Tian star field. Jing Yu imprint said, the Qin Tian star field is a star field under the Taishu dynasty, and it's just a very remote star field? Lu Ming was even more surprised. Now, you should have a rough idea of the Taishu sacred court strength. Now, let's talk about me. I was originally a prince of the Taishu sacred court. I was ranked 18th. I was the 18th prince. Jing Yu imprint immediately explained in detail. Jing Yu, the 18th prince of the Taishu dynasty, was extremely talented and had unparalleled talent. Even in the history of the Taishu dynasty, he was rare. At a young age, he became a top expert of the Taishu dynasty. Such talent naturally attracted the jealousy of others. That was the other princes, and even the crown prince. Because at that time, there were many voices in the Taishu dynasty, calling for Jing Yu to take over the Taishu dynasty in the future. In that way, he would be able to bring the Taishu dynasty to greater prosperity. However, one day, a shocking news came out. The 18th prince, Jing Yu, had defiled the current imperial concubine. The imperial concubine was the most beloved concubine of the Taishu Saint Emperor. When the news came out, the world was in an uproar. Later, Jing Yu was imprisoned for committing a heinous crime. He was even abolished of his cultivation and sentenced to death. Just like that, a genius prince of the Taishu dynasty fell. As for his family, they were either killed or imprisoned. From then on, they became history. Lu Ming finally knew that Huangquan Mountain, Baiya, and the others in the primordial realm of the Heaven Realm were the people who followed Jing Yu back then. Back then, I was framed. Someone joined forces with the imperial concubine to frame me. Speaking of this, Jing Yu imprint's eyes were filled with strong unwillingness and resentment. Who was it that framed you? Lu Ming asked. I don't know. Maybe it was the crown prince or other princes. Jing Yu shook his head and said, what I want you to do is to go to the Taishu dynasty and find out who framed me. Avenge me and clear my name. But my strength, Lu Ming smiled bitterly. The Taishu dynasty was a universe-level force. Any expert from the Taishu dynasty could probably kill him with a breath. How could he avenge Jingyu? Your strength is indeed very weak. With your current cultivation, you can't do anything in the Taishu dynasty. Therefore, there is no time limit for this. It won't be too late to go when you have the strength in the future, Jingyu imprint said. Jingyu noted it down. Well, do you have any divine skills or secret techniques? Can you give me some to enhance my strength? Lu Ming rolled his eyes and began to ask for benefits. In the future, when he wanted the Taishu dynasty, it would be dangerous and risky. How could he not take some benefits now? Unexpectedly, Jingyu imprint shook his head and said, I've already given you what I should. The Qian Kuan myriad Tao art and the origin ancient word battle are the foundation that will allow you to rise. The other divine skills and secret arts are secondary. Giving you too many won't do you any good. That's all? Lu Ming was depressed. To be honest, it's very difficult to complete my task, so you will need to experience a lot of training along the way. Only then can you help me fulfill my wish. In this world, there are gains and losses. You have obtained the universe myriad Tao scripture and the battle ancient origin character, so you naturally have to pay a price. Well, my imprint will disappear soon. I hope you can complete it. Also, don't forget to save White Fang and the others in the future. At this point, the Jing feather imprint shook for a while, and then burst like a bubble, disappearing without a trace. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.